So hi guys, I'm Shubham Agarwal, and in this session we will try to design the dashboard for our chat app. Okay, so it will be a user dashboard in which there will be many things. First is the username will be there. Okay, then logout button will be there. Then we have fetch user window. Then we have fetch group window. Okay, then we have the chat window in which the user can chat with some other person, and in the fetch user window there will be the user list, and in the fetch group window there will be the group list. Okay, so in this session we will try to implement this. Okay, so we will try to implement this dashboard first. Okay, so currently our dashboard is looking something like this. So let me show you. So our current dashboard is something like this, in which we have the UID and then we have the dashboard. Okay. In the UID there will be the user. When we run the Flask server, then this UID will be shown. Okay. So it will be user one, user two, or some name. Okay. Then we have dashboard. So let's make our dashboard something like this. Okay. So let's get started. So some our dashboard is looking like this. So I have added one CSS file here. So it is styles.css. Okay, so let me open this styles.css. So in this some CSS is contained, in which body and HTML has 100% and 100% height and width. Okay, margin is 0. Okay, and we have container class. Okay, so it will be a parent class for all the division. Okay, then we have left panel. So left panel is our, one second. So left panel is this, in which fetch user and fetch group is there. Okay, then we have right top panel in which this messages will be there, and then we have the right bottom panel in which the type message will be there. Okay, in which the user can send the message. Then we have the top panel CSS class in which the user dashboard name and username will be there, and then logout button will be there. Okay, and we have some other CSS like for logout button, then button, import, vertical menu. So vertical menu is the list of the user. Okay, and for the messages, vertical menu is there. Okay, so this is about the styles.css. So let's start with our dashboard.html. Okay, so let's create one division tag first. So this will be the parent division tag in which the class will be container. Okay, and after that we will have one division tag that will be our top panel. So let me write top panel here. Okay, and in this top panel there will be the user dashboard information. Okay, so let me paste it here. Okay, then we will have a button that will be logout button. Okay, so let me show the browser. So our user dashboard is looking something like this. So this light blue color is coming from the CSS that we have imported. So here is the styles.css in which in uh, top panel there is a background color of light blue. Okay, so blue background color is there. So that's why here light blue is coming. Okay, so let me make our logout button is coming here, so I want it here. So let me use something. Okay, so we can use here a table. Okay, so let me use a table tag. So in this table tag, let me first give the width equal to 100%. Okay, then we will have the border equal to 1 px so that we can see the outline of our panel. Okay, in this there will be one tr tag in which there is td tag in which we will put our user dashboard info. Okay, okay, fine. Now let me put it into one more td. Let me put one more td tag here in which I will put the logout button, and let me give here td width equal width equal to let's give 70%. Okay, so let me refresh our user dashboard. So it is looking something like this. Okay, so our user dashboard is now we have a section that is top panel in which user name and dashboard is there. Then we have the logout button here. Okay, so logout button, so let me add some css in the logout button. So let's add one class. In that class we will have a logout. Okay, so in this the logout button will be there, means the css for logout. So now our logout button is looking nice. Let me also put a css here in which uh, we will have text align. One second. Text align equal to text align is equal to center. Okay, so that the logout button should come in the center. Okay, so now logout button is looking good. Then we can also give some margin here. Okay, so let me add some margin there. So style tag, then we have margin to the left, so it should be around 10 pixel. Okay, 10 px. So let me refresh it. Okay, so let me make it 20. So let me refresh it. Yeah, so the here 20 is there, and we have the username and the dashboard. Okay, and here logout button is there. Okay, fine. Now let's make the left panel of our app, in which on left panel of our dashboard, in which we have the fetch user. Okay, so let me add one more div tag here, and in this div tag let me give the class name as left panel. Okay, and in this left panel let me add one table tag, and in that table tag let me add the width equal to 100%, and after that border equal to 1 px. Okay, so and in this there are two tr element. Okay, in first row we will have the fetch user, so let me add one h3 tag here in which fetch user is there. Okay, and after that we have the tr tag in which uh, a fetch group is there. Okay, okay, fine. So now we have fetch group and fetch user. Also let me add one more thing here, that will be a vertical menu. So we will add one more division tag in which we will have a vertical menu class for the user list. Okay, vertical menu. Let me just copy paste it and put it in fetch group also. Okay. So let me refresh our dashboard page. So now our dashboard page looks like this. Okay. So we have the fetch user, then we have the fetch group. Okay. So now it is looking something like this. Now we have to add the chat window here. Okay. So let me add the chat window first. Okay. So we will have one more div tag. One second. So div tag in which we have a class. In that class we have the right panel, right top panel. Okay. And in the right top panel we will have one, let's say again table, because in table the things are looking systematic. Okay. Let me give width as 100%, and then border 1 px. Then we have a tr element, then we have td element, and in that td element let's have an h3 tag in which we will write chat window. Okay. One second. h3 chat window. So the chat window is there. Okay, now we have to add one vertical list for messages. So for that let me add one div tag. In that div tag let me give the class name as vertical menu 2. Okay, so this is our top right panel. So let me show you. So the chat window is coming. Okay, here. So let's add the send message also. Okay. Let me add one more div tag, and in this div tag let me add class name as bottom panel, right bottom panel. Okay. So let me just change the name here, right bottom panel. And in this also we will have one table text. So let's copy from here. Okay. And paste it here. And in this we will have two things. First we will have the input tag for the uh, input message. So it will be of type text and name will be typed message. Okay. And placeholder will be type a message. Okay. Okay. So this will be our input, and let's now create one more TD in which there will be the send button. So button, and we have send in it, and let me give the button class as the logout class, logout button class. So it will copy the CSS of the logout button. Okay. Let me put all this thing in a form so that whenever this form gets submitted, we can update the dashboard. Okay. So let me put form here. So we will so in the form method. So first of all, we have to give the action. That action, let me give let, one second. Let me give dashboard URL. So it will again return to dashboard for now. Okay, and the method will be a post method. Okay, so our right bottom panel is completed now. So let's see how our dashboard looks like. So our dashboard is looking something like this right now. Okay, so we have a type message, send button, logout button, then we have a chat window, fetch user, fetch group. Okay, so it is looking something like this. Okay. So let me add some messages here. Okay. Let me add a space for messages here. So in the vertical menu, let me also give here in HTTP tab there will be user ID. Okay, so it will be chat ID. The means uh, this user is chatting to whom. Okay, so it will be given by this chat ID. So this chat ID will be one second. So here the chat ID will be there means to which user the this user is chatting. Okay, so it will be present here. Okay, so let me give in div tag. Let me create one table, and in the table let me give it equal to 100%. Okay, then we have the border. Okay, border equal to 1px, and in that border we have a tr tag in which we will have a td tag. Okay, in this td tag let me give a name like message text. So message text will be there. Then we will have td. In this the sender id will be there. Okay, then we will have the timestamp. Okay, timestamp. Okay. Then we will have the message ID. So each message will have a unique message ID so that we can refer to that message. Okay. So, so yeah, so our dashboard is something looking like this. Okay. We have the chat ID here, and then we have a message text, then we have sender ID, then timestamp and message ID. Okay. So let me assign some width here. So width should be let me say 60%. Okay. It should be of 60%, then sender ID should be width should be around 10%. Okay, and its width should be 20%. Okay. And message ID width will be 10%. So let me refresh it. Yeah. So message text length got increased. Okay, then we have sender ID 10% and message ID. When we click on this, something will happen. Okay, since the Flask server is not running, so we will run the Flask server once we complete the design of our dashboard. So yeah, so we have done up to the we have designed our chat window, user, user, fetch group. Let me add one button for fetch group. Okay, so for that let me put a button here. Okay, button, is there. So let me refresh it. Yeah, so button is here, and let me give the class name as button class. Let me refresh it. Yeah, so fetch user is there. Okay. It is in white color. And also let me add some CSS here that style will be text align and it will be center. So let me refresh it. Yeah, so fetch user is coming, and when I click on fetch user, its color also gets changes when I hover on it. Okay. Okay. So let me just copy this button and put it in fetch group also. Okay, fine. So let me refresh it. Yeah, so fetch group is there. Also put add CSS here that text align style is equal to text align center. So let me refresh it. Yeah, so it is coming in center. So let me add some users here. So let me add some list. So it will be href. I'm not giving anything right now, and it will be user one. Okay, something like this. Let me put something more, some more text here. Similarly for group also, let me add something here so that we can see the list, scroll down list. Okay, so let me just put some entries here. Okay, now when I refresh it, we can see here. When I click on fetch user, nothing is happening because I have not selected any event, but here the user list is there and there is a scroll down menu. Okay, and here also the scroll down menu is there. So now our dashboard looks something like this. Okay, so yeah, something like this. We have dashboard username. Okay, here. Then we have logout button. Okay, then we have fetch user button. Then we have user list, scroll down menu. Then we have fetch group. Then we have the group list. Then we have chat window in which messages will be there when we put messages here. Okay, then we have the uh, space to send message. Okay, we will change the color of this dashboard later, but now the basic structure of dashboard is created. Okay, and it is looking fine. Okay, so yeah, so we have designed our dashboard and our dashboard is looking something like this. Okay, okay, fine. So we have made the dashboard. Okay, so now let's make our dashboard more dynamic. So that our user list will be so we have just right now hard coded our user list. So as you can see here, so we have just written user 1, user 2. So let's make it more dynamic. Okay, so for that let's first go to our home.py file. Okay, so in that home.py file, let's make two functions first. Okay, first function will be um, fetch group. Okay, so at the rate a route, in which we will give the URL, which will be fetch user. Okay, and in that methods will be get, then we have post. Okay, and in this when we write fetch user, so fetch user is there, and in this for now let's return it let's redirect it to dashboard. Okay, so we will be redirected to dashboard for now. So let's make a similar function for uh, uh, fetch group. Okay, so we have fetch group. Okay, then we have methods equal to get post. Okay, then we have defined, then we have to define our function fetch group. Okay, which will also return, for now it return a redirect dashboard. So let's also make the changes in the dashboard.html in which yeah, so in which we have to write an href patch user. So patch user is written here, and in this patch group is written here. Okay. So let me just run our Flask server first. Okay. So one second. Python got py. So our Flask server is getting started. Okay. So some error is there. So okay. So let me see the error first. So in this at the rate route, okay, so here the slash should be there. So let me clear it and rerun it. So our Flash server is got started. Okay, so let's see. So this was our simple HTML file. So let's close it and let's open our Flask server. So this is the register and login there. So in register, when we write some username and when we register, so we will be thrown to our dashboard. So let's do it. So user one is already there in our database. In the previous session, we have added it. Okay. So when we register, so it will say user one is already present, means user already exists. So let's register with some other user. Okay. Let's say user six. Okay. So user six at gmail.com, and we have the password 123, and we press on register. So user 6 dashboard is there. So why this dashboard is looking like this? So it is looking like this because in dashboard.html we are accessing a CSS file. So the program is not at the HTML file is not getting the style.css, but it is present in templates. But it is a static file, so we have to make a static folder if we want to use it in our Flask app. So let's create one folder, name it with static. Okay. So in this static folder, let me just open this and let me just save this file in static folder. Okay. Yeah. So static, yeah, styles.css, CSS. So, so in static, now the style.css is present, and in the dashboard, let's give the URL. Let's use URL for. So in URL for, we will have the URL that will be static, and file name will be styles.txt. Styles.css. And now we will, when we refresh our page, then sorry. So let me just do dashboard here. And when we refresh on our page, then again the CSS is not shown. So let me see why it is not showing. So CSS is there. Okay, URL for static. Yeah. Okay. Okay, href. The file name is styles.css. Okay. So let me again go and let's log in with user one. User one password is 123. Again the same thing is coming. So now also this file is not visible to this. Okay, so let me see why it is not there. Static file name is this .css styles.css. Let me see what is present in style.css. What the tags are there. Static folder. One second. Okay. Style sheet link. Oh, sorry. So we have to put it in a curly braces here. So that's why it is not working. So it is a Python code. Okay. So to use Python code in this, we have to use the curly braces here. Okay. So we have added the curly braces here. Now the URL for will work fine. So now let's move to our dashboard and refresh it. So yeah, so our CSS that we have made is correct, coming correctly. Now we will add some functionality to this fetch user and fetch group. Okay. So right now they are just redirecting to fetch user and fetch group URL. So let's make that URL first. Okay. So in the home.py, let's go to the let's add the URL here. So app.route. Okay. Then we will have the fetch user. Okay. Then we will have the methods equal to get. Then we will have post. Okay. After that tab, we will have fetch user. For now, this fetch user will return just it will redirect it to dashboard. Okay. Fine. Now let's copy this. Okay. Let me just copy this and just change the name. Let's change it to group. Okay. Similarly here also. Okay. Now let's make two files. First will be for user list. So its name will be users.txt. It will contain user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5. Okay. And let's now make one more file which contains the group information. So let me save it as groups.txt, in which we have group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Okay. So this, so we will be reading from this file from now for now. Okay. So let me read it from this file. So let me first declare some variable above. Okay. So that we will be using here. So we will have the current user. Okay. It will be none initially. Then we will have the user list, which will be empty. Then we will have the group list. It will also be empty initially. Then we will have the CID, in which none will be there. Okay. So let me go to register. Sorry, fetch user, in which let me take use the global user list. Okay. And let me read from a file open users.txt, and we will read it in read mode. Okay. And then we will correct the data from file dot read lines, and we will put all this data in the user list equal to data. Okay. Then we will redirect it to dashboard. Similarly, let me copy this. Okay. And let me put it here, and instead of user, let me do groups.txt. Then we will have data, and in this we will pass group list. Okay. Now let's come to dashboard. In this dashboard, let's have the global variables, in which current user will be there, user list will be there. Okay. Then we will have the group list, and then we will have the CID. Let's also pass it when we are rendering the dashboard.html. Okay. So UID will be current user, user list will be user list. Then we will have the group list. It will be group list. Then we will have the CID, and it will be CID. Okay. So it will be check ID. Okay. Yeah. Now let's move above. Here also, when we log in or when we do something, let me update the user ID here. instead of just rendering this page, we can redirect it to dashboard.html dashboard. Okay. Similarly, here we have to also use global current user. Okay. Similarly, we have to do the same thing in the register check also. So current user will be okay. And in this we will have the user ID. Okay. After this, let's render it. Let's instead of rendering, let's redirect it. Redirect dashboard. Okay. And here also there should be global current user. Okay. So we have done the task here. Let's go to here dashboard.html in which where we have declared this fetch user. Now instead of this, let uh, let use for loop here instead of the static data. Okay. For user in user list. We will and after this we will add this for. So this is the syntax for using for loop in Flask. Okay. And in this we will write a anchor tag which we are not giving any reference for now, but we will mention the user name. Okay. So the similar thing we will do in the group also, in which we will have the group instead of user. Okay. So group and here also group list. Okay. Fine. So we have done the thing here. Okay. So let's refresh our dashboard first. So here none is coming because there is no user ID right now. Similarly, here chat ID is also none. Let me just where we have used chat ID in the chat window, let me just rename it to CID. So because we have passed CID here. So let me just refresh it. So it is none. It is coming. When I click on fetch user, then the user list is also coming in which user 1, user 3, user 4, user 5 is there. And when I click on fetch group, the group names are also coming. So our fetch group and fetch user is working fine. Okay. Okay, fine. Now let's do something. When we click on user one, then this name should be here. Okay. So let's do that. So for that, we have to add one here. We have to add as reference. Then in that, we have to mention the URL for. In the URL for, we have to mention the method name that will be update CID. So we will make this method in home.html in which jet ID will be user. Okay. So let me copy this and paste it in the user also. The same thing. Okay. So here jet ID and the instead of okay. So here instead of user it should be group. Okay. Okay. Fine. So it will update. Now let's move to our home.py file in which let's make one more URL that will be app.route. It will be update CID in which we will have an argument that will be of string time and its name will be chat ID. Okay. And methods will be get post. So def update CID in which the argument will be chat ID that will be receiving. Let me use global here and global CID. Yeah, then we will update this global CID with chat ID and after that we will just return and redirect it to dashboard. Okay. So this will be our update CID function. Okay. So we have made HTML uh, dashboard.html, we have made the changes. So let's refresh it. So once again, yeah, so maybe there is some error. Okay, so we have error, so we have to check it, what is the error. Okay, so here the slash should be there. Okay, so it should start with slash updates here. So let me start the Flask server once again. So the Flask server is starting. Okay, so now let's go to the dashboard again, and yeah, dashboard is loaded, user list is there, then we have group list is also there. Okay, and when we click on user, then okay, so it is not working. Okay, so here dashboard is there, so let me, okay, so here the it should be slash dashboard. Okay, so let's again go to dashboard, go to fetch user 1. So user 1 is coming here, then user 2 is coming, user 3 is coming, user 4 is coming. Similarly for group also, group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4 is coming. So we have made our dashboard little bit dynamic. Okay, okay, so let's log in first and see the thing. So login, let me log in with user 1, password will be 123, and when I press login, then I will be here. So user 1's dashboard, fetch user will fetch the list. Okay, yeah, loading. It is taking some time. 1 second. Yeah, so it is loaded. Then we have fetch group. Then when we click on user 1, then user 1 is updated, user 2 is updated, user 3 is updated, user 4 is updated. Similarly for group also. Okay, so all the things are working fine. So in the next session, we will try to implement our message functionality, and we will try to connect it with Kafka so that we can make one database server in which we can transfer the messages, and we will also study we will also see the structure of our database, means how we will store our information, and we will also see how we can maintain multiple user information, logging information in the home.py file. So we have currently used current user, so it is only working for single user. So we have made a dashboard, but it is for single user. So for in the next session, we will try to make it for multiple users. So this is it for today's session, and